So I forgot one little piece of social psych, and I'm not sure it was on your concept map. I don't know why, because I I think you do need to know it for your test, which is attribution theory. An attribution is the explanation we come up with for our own or someone else's behavior. And there's two basic types of attributions we can make. One is called a dispositional attribution, and that's making an attribution to the person, something about them, something about their personality, something inside them is causing them to act this way. And then we have what's called a situational attribution, which is something outside of their control is making them behave this way. So let's say you got an F on the test. You know, I might be likely to make a dispositional attribution and say, oh, you just didn't study hard. You're just a lazy person, right? That's a dispositional attribution. But if I found out that maybe your parents were in a car wreck last night, then I would switch to a situation. It was something outside your control that made you get a bad grade. So let me give you another example of that. Imagine I told you the story of this poor fellow that was out walking in the woods one day, minding his own business, enjoying nature, and he accidentally got shot in the eye with an arrow. You would probably feel really sorry for him, you know, visit him in the hospital, bake him cookies, okay, and make a situational attribution. It was outside his control. It was just an accident. But hopefully you can see this. Take a minute and read this little news story. Okay, you're probably not making a situational attribution anymore. You've probably switched to dispositional and say, oh, he's just an idiot. He did that to himself. Okay, and so he's not getting cookies and flowers anymore. So attributions are really a big determinant of how we treat people. You know, if it can be good or bad, right? So if you got an A on the test and I say you're really smart, that's great that I make a dispositional attribution. But if you get an F and I make dispositional, that's not as nice. The last thing to talk about with attributions is what's called the fundamental attribution error. Okay. And that seems to be our natural American tendency that when we are looking at someone else's behavior, particularly a stranger's, we automatically jump to a dispositional attribution, okay? So if I'm walking through the grocery store line and the cashier's really rude to me, I'm more likely to say she's a bad person than I am to say she must be having a bad day, okay? We are raised in a culture that teaches free will, that we control our own behavior, so we jump to dispositional attributions faster than situational attributions. Okay, so fundamental attribution error, tendency to make dispositional attributions for other people's behavior. We don't do that to ourselves. Okay, I forgot that little part, so I'll stop there. If I can figure out how to stop the recording. And that wasn't recording. That bites. Okay. Oh, that was recording. And you heard me say that. Oh,